It's 7:04 on a Thursday morning, and you're standing in your kitchen staring at a $1,200 repair estimate on your phone. Your first reaction surprises you. Nothing. No tightness in your chest, no opening of the calculator, no mental calculation of which bill you can delay. You just read the number again. $1,200. You could pay it today, you could pay it tomorrow, you could pay it 6 months from now. It wouldn't change anything important about your life. And that realization feels stranger than the bill itself. Because there was a time when $1,200 could ruin your entire month. A time when a broken refrigerator meant moving money between accounts. A medical bill meant using a credit card. A car repair meant calling someone and asking if you could borrow the money until payday. Back then, money wasn't just money, it was danger. Every unexpected expense carried a question behind it. Can I survive this? Now the question is different. Is this worth paying for? That is the moment you realize something inside you has changed. You haven't stopped caring about money, you've stopped being afraid of it. And those are two completely different things. Because becoming wealthy doesn't necessarily make you feel rich. At first, it just makes emergencies feel smaller. Then decisions become easier. Then time becomes more valuable. And eventually, you reach a strange point where money stops controlling your emotions the way it used to. But getting there takes longer than you imagine. Because when you're broke, you think wealth means buying whatever you want. When you're comfortable, you think wealth means never checking your bank account. But when you actually have enough, you discover that wealth is something much quieter. It's the moment an unexpected $5,000 expense becomes an inconvenience instead of a crisis. It's the moment you can leave a job without knowing exactly what comes next. It's the moment a bad month doesn't become a bad year. And it starts much earlier than you think. You're 25. You make $46,000 a year. Your rent is $1,150. Your car payment is $318. Your credit card balance is $3,700. And every month you tell yourself you're going to get ahead. Next month, after the raise, after the bonus, after you pay off the car, after things calm down. But things never really calm down. Your phone breaks. Your tires need replacing. Your friend gets married. Your apartment raises the rent. You need a dentist. Your insurance bill increases. Nothing is individually catastrophic. That's what makes it exhausting. It's the constant feeling that your financial life is one unexpected event away from becoming a problem. You check your bank account before buying groceries. You calculate the balance before filling your gas tank. You wait until payday to make plans. And you start developing habits you don't even realize or fear. You choose the cheaper restaurant, even when you can technically afford the expensive one. You don't take the trip because you might need the money later. You don't replace your laptop because the old one still turns on. You don't leave the job you hate because what if the next one doesn't work out? You don't say no to overtime because you don't know when you'll need the money. Your entire life becomes a series of tiny financial calculations. And then one day, you get a raise. Not a life-changing raise, just enough to make breathing slightly easier. Your salary becomes $61,000. You feel different for about 3 weeks. Then your lifestyle catches up. The apartment gets nicer, the car gets newer, the restaurants get more expensive, the subscriptions multiply, and somehow you're still waiting for the next paycheck. This is the first lesson you learn. A higher income can remove financial problems without removing financial fear. Because fear isn't always caused by how little you earn. Sometimes it's caused by how little margin you have. You don't need to become a millionaire overnight. You need space. Space between what comes in and what must go out. So you start creating it. You cancel a few things, you pay down the credit card, you stop upgrading your lifestyle every time your income increases, and instead of spending the extra money, you keep it. At first, it feels almost pointless. You move $200 into savings, then $300, then $500. You build your first $5,000 emergency fund, and something strange happens. Nothing changes outside your bank account. Your apartment is the same, your job is the same, your car is the same. But inside your head, something shifts. Your car makes a strange noise one morning. You don't panic. You have money. Your washing machine breaks. You don't panic. You have money. Your company announces layoffs. You don't immediately start updating your resume. You still might, but you don't feel trapped. And that's the first time you understand what financial security actually feels like. It's not excitement. It's the absence of panic. You keep going. Your emergency fund becomes $10,000, then $20,000. Your credit card balance reaches zero, then your car loan disappears. Then you start investing consistently. At first, the numbers barely move. $18,000, $27,000, $41,000. You still feel like the same person. You still go to work. You still buy groceries. You still complain when your internet goes down. But something important is happening underneath your ordinary life. Your money is beginning to create distance between you and disaster. And distance changes behavior. You stop making decisions from desperation. You don't need the first job offer. You don't need the first apartment you see. You don't need to accept every freelance project. You don't need to borrow money for every unexpected expense. You can wait. That word becomes incredibly powerful. Wait. You can wait for the right job, wait for the right house, wait for the right investment, wait before buying something, wait before signing a contract, wait before saying yes. Because when you're financially fragile, urgency controls you. When you're financially secure, patience becomes available, and patience is worth more than people realize. A few years pass. Your income reaches $85,000, then $103,000. Your investments cross $100,000, then $200,000. You still don't feel rich, but your relationship with money is almost recognizable compared with your 20s. You stop checking your account every morning. You stop calculating every restaurant bill. You stop wondering whether a $400 expense will destroy your month. Then something happens that would have terrified the old version of you. Your company restructures. Your position disappears. You receive the email on a Tuesday afternoon. Your old self would have immediately opened the banking app. How much is in checking? How much is in savings? How many months can I survive? What if the market crashes? What if everything goes wrong? But this time, you close the email. You sit there for a minute, and you realize something. You don't have to solve your entire life today. You have enough cash. You have investments. You have skills. You have time. You can figure it out. That sentence is one of the greatest luxuries money can buy. I can figure it out. Not because nothing bad can happen, but because one bad event no longer has the power to determine everything that happens next. And this is where wealth starts feeling different. You don't become fearless. You become harder to frighten. A market correction doesn't make you sell everything. A job loss doesn't make you accept the first offer. A $10,000 repair doesn't make you reach for a credit card. A bad investment doesn't destroy your entire financial future. You have margin. You have options. You have time. And eventually, the number in your investment account becomes large enough that something else begins happening. The money itself starts becoming meaningful. Your portfolio earns $2,000 in a month, then $5,000. Then one particularly strong year, the market gains more than your annual salary. You stare at the number. It feels almost unfair. You spent years believing that the only way to get ahead was to work harder. Now, your money is working while you're asleep. And that's when you finally understand the difference between income and wealth. Income is what you earn because you worked. Wealth is what remains available after you stop. And once you have enough of it, your relationship with work changes too. You don't necessarily quit, that's not the point. You just stop being terrified of quitting. You can stay because you want to, not because you have to. And that difference changes how you behave in meetings. You can disagree with your boss. You can turn down a promotion. You can leave a toxic workplace. You can tell a client no. You can walk away from a deal. Because your next meal isn't dependent on someone else's approval. Your financial life has given you something your paycheck never could. Leverage. But there's another side to this. The more financially secure you become, the more carefully you start protecting it. You become less interested in looking rich. You don't need the newest car. You don't need the biggest house. You don't need strangers to know what you earn. Because you've learned something most people never get the chance to learn. Looking wealthy and being wealthy can require completely different behaviors. The person spending $8,000 a month to maintain a lifestyle may have less freedom than the person spending $4,000. The person with the expensive car may be terrified of losing their job. The person driving an ordinary car may have enough invested to never need another paycheck. You stop judging either person. You just understand the difference now. And then your definition of luxury changes. Luxury becomes waking up without financial anxiety. Luxury becomes taking a Tuesday afternoon off. Luxury becomes being able to help your parents. Luxury becomes having 6 months of expenses sitting untouched. Luxury becomes saying no. Luxury becomes sleeping well after the stock market falls. Luxury becomes not caring what someone thinks about your car. Luxury becomes knowing that if everything went wrong tomorrow, you would still have a path forward. And eventually, you reach that morning. The $1,200 repair, the coffee machine, the phone on the counter, the ordinary Thursday morning. You look at the bill again, $1,200. You approve the repair. No hesitation. No financial gymnastics, no moving money around, no pretending everything is fine while quietly worrying. You just pay it. Then you make coffee, and you realize that the number itself isn't what changed. You changed. $1,200 used to represent danger. Now it represents maintenance. $5,000 used to represent disaster. Now it represents an expense. $10,000 used to represent months of anxiety. Now it represents something you can handle. The numbers didn't become smaller. Your financial foundation became larger. And that's the real transformation. You didn't become wealthy enough to buy everything. You became wealthy enough that you don't have to fear everything. You can lose a job without losing yourself. You can have a bad month without having a bad life. You can make a mistake without destroying your future. You can walk away. You can wait. You can choose. And maybe that's what people misunderstand about becoming rich. They imagine the moment you become wealthy as a celebration, a bigger house, a better car, a private flight, a luxury vacation. But the real moment might be much quieter. You're sitting at your kitchen table. A bill arrives. Something breaks. The market drops. Your employer calls. And instead of feeling your stomach tighten, you simply think, okay, we'll figure it out. That might be the moment money finally stops scaring you. Not because you have enough to buy everything, but because you finally have enough margin to know that one bad thing cannot take everything away. And once money stops being something you constantly have to protect yourself from, it becomes something you can finally use to buy time, to protect people you love, to take risks worth taking, to walk away from things that aren't worth your life, to choose where you live, who you work with, what you spend your days doing. And eventually, you realize that the greatest financial milestone wasn't your first $100,000. It wasn't your first million. It wasn't the first time your investments made more than your salary. It was the first time something went wrong and you weren't afraid. Because that's when you finally understood what the money had been building all along. Not a lifestyle, not status, not a number. Freedom from panic. And once you have that, money finally stops being the thing you spend your life worrying about. It becomes the thing quietly protecting the life you've built.